Welcome to Mrs. Bam's Study Notes. The topic that we are going to look at today is conflict. Conflict is a clash or disagreement between individuals or a group, and it is because of unacceptable differences in opinions. These differences can be verbal, physical, or psychological. Conflict is mostly seen as destructive and negative because sometimes the individuals involved have no desire to find a solution. However, conflict can bring about change if it's handled correctly. If differences are communicated, respected, and issues are openly discussed, conflict can be constructive. We will look at 7 types of conflict. Firstly, we have daily irritations. This type of conflict doesn't have a high intensity, and it is the things that we can easily live with. For example, siblings disagreeing over whose turn it is to do the dishes. Number 2, internal conflict. Psychological conflict is difficult to recognize because a person struggles with themselves, their conscience, feelings, or guilt. An example is a person disliking their job intensely, but fear the threat of unemployment if they quit. Number 3 is interpersonal conflict. This conflict is due to a clash in different personalities. It can be mild or severe. An example can be managers disagreeing over the allocation of scarce organizational resources. Next, we get threats. Threats have an intention of inflicting pain, injury, damage, or any other hostile action. It is an unfavorable situation and force that may adversely affect a person. An example is verbally attacking a person in the workplace. Number 5 is social conflict and can be divided into 4 subsections. Subsection A, conflict within a group or intra-group conflict. An example is a team arguing over the correct procedures to follow in order to have a successful outcome. Subsection B, intergroup conflict, where 2 groups are clashing. For example, 2 political parties arguing over a controversial law. Subsection C, an individual opposing a group. For example, a HR person telling a department that they will not be getting a salary increase. Subsection D, 2 individuals, you against me or me against you. Number 6 is structural conflict, and this is when the root of the issue comes from the structure of the organization. It can include how teams are structured, lack of clarity over expectations, organizational hierarchy, and rewards or consequences. Number 7 is strategic conflict, that is planned conflict and often deliberately started because of a person or a group's self-interest. An example of this type of conflict is a group of people undermining the head of department in order to get them to step down from the position. These are just a few examples of conflict. Please join me again for more of Mrs. Bam's Study Notes.